Hey, what's up, everybody? We are live. I know we were supposed to start at 12 o'clock, but we're here. We are over on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Substack. We on Substack, Sharonda. And we're also on Sharonda's Facebook and LinkedIn. And I am so glad that you all are going to join us today. Listen, this woman next to me, oh, I just love her. I just love me some Sharonda. And I wanted to make sure that you all met Sharonda. I wanted to make sure that you see yourself and see the power of really leaning in. Y'all know that my focus is on making sure that women experts, particularly Black women experts, are positioned, packaged, and pricing profitably, like pricing your expertise and not leaving anything behind. And so I thought that the best way to show you, I could tell you something, right? You know how they say I could show you better than I could tell you. It's one thing for me to tell you, like, this is what I do. And oh, it's not letting me stream the Substack. Oh well. Um this is what I do. And really to lean in and take control of your destiny of going from what we call employee to expertpreneur. But it's a whole nother thing if I could show you somebody who is just like you who did it. And I think one of the great things about Sharonda's story that you'll hear is like where she came from and just her thoughts and what she was doing and what she's doing now. So before we jump in and dive in, because I want you to hear from Sharonda, really not from me, is I'm going to have Sharonda just introduce herself really quickly, and then we're going to take you on her journey. And if you have any questions or comments wherever you are, just chime in. We want to hear if you have questions about, what Sharonda's journey is, like what it's been like, what she's up to. Listen, this is your time to ask and lean on in. And one more thing before I turn it over to Sharonda, you see a QR code that's up in the whatever side of the screen you're looking at it. That is for our free masterclass that's coming up, startprofiting.co. If you're tired of undervaluing, if you're tired of undercharging, if you're tired of being the person that they're always asking to speak for free or exposure, and you've been in this business and you're doing all the things and you're not getting paid for it, go to startprofiting.co and grab your seat for January 15th for our masterclass. Stop undervaluing, start profiting. All right, now with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sharonda. Sharonda, tell the people who you are.
Hey, everyone. My name is Sharonda LaShawn. I also call myself my moniker. It's Sister RN. I'm excited to be here. First, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Kelly, for allowing me to be here to speak to your audience. And thank you to anyone on my page that is tuning in as well. I'm excited that I'm even the subject case, that someone is even interested in me, my life, and my journey. So thank you, Kelly, for having me here today.
Oh, I am so interested in you and your journey, and I want to make sure that other people get to know you, get to see you, get to experience you, because there's so many women, especially we know right now, right? Especially in 2025, what happened with hundreds of thousands of Black women being pushed out of the workforce. And we're talking about women like you who had tons and tons of experience in one aspect in corporate and have to figure out a way, like, what do I do? Do I go back into corporate, which we know has been really hard for some people, or do I venture out into entrepreneurship? And so let's start at the beginning, Sharonda, about how you and I even came to be together. So how did you find me? Like, what were you looking for? What was happening in your life at the time that we came? What was it, 2023, 2024?
2022. I think it was 2022, October
Really?
20,
Oh my gosh.
October of 2022 is when I signed up for your course.
Oh
Is
my
when
God.
I was deciding this is it, right? Which takes me to where I was right before we met, right? I was at the end of my career, corporate career, mentally, especially post-pandemic. I was right outside of Oakland, and what I realized post-pandemic is I was just no longer wanting to. I'm tapped out. I've fought the fight. for lack of a better phrase, I've served my time, especially in a broken healthcare system, unfortunately, right? But served my time, and now I'm an expert. How do I multiply my brain? How do I help more people? I think it's important for people to understand that I went to the bedside so that I could help people. And my impact was what was in my reach, the people that I was taking care of on a daily basis. But what I realized is I wanted to be more than that and wanted to impact more people. And so I had to scale myself. And the way that I did that is I've had to become a leader. I had to take care of the people who take care of the people. And that's what took me into emergency, right? Yay. Hello. Uh, so that's just exciting for me. So anyway, end of my road. What else can I do? How else can I position myself? I'm a very smart, I think, girl. Didn't know it until I got thrown out here trial by fire, right? But why does anybody have to do that anymore? So, anywho, on my journey, while I opened my mind, you have to open your mind up to new avenues and new things. I met two girlfriends right outside of Oakland, California that I loved and adored. Loved everything about them. They looked like me. They were entrepreneurs in their own lane. And one of them was speaking. And I'm like, wait, okay, so tell me more. And so, when you go out with your girlfriends, I think that's important. Building relationships and that type stuff. You talk about things, you share experiences. And so I wanted to do it, right? I wanted to do what she was doing. I wanted to speak. So I opened my mind up to that. And then when I did, I saw Kelly. Kelly was visual on social media. I liked her colors. I was kind of playing around with them colors. I was going back between pink and purple. And then she looked like me. She was the complexion for the connection. Wait a minute. And she's a professional. She's an attorney. But she talked like me. Wait a minute. It was like all these things. So then I just wanted to check you out, right? So then I checked you out and you was talking about a signature talk and I want to speak. I think it's very important. If you want to know me and you want to get to know me, I think it's important. I want people to know 12 years of report cards, 12 years my mom have documented that Sharonda talks entirely too much, one way or another. Either my teachers call me motor mouth or they call me yak yak. That was wrong because I didn't even know you could do that. You can't do that now. But they used to write that on my report card. But needless to say, I found myself, right? And then when I found Kelly and started with my signature talk, which we're getting ready to get to now, I think it's important for you guys to know the very first thing I learned coming out the gate was it was okay to be me. I was code switching. I wasn't gonna be Sister RN. I was over Sister RN over here. I was Sharonda over here. I remember Kelly asking me, who you gonna be? Now I am Sharonda LaShawn. That's my personal, right? But what's your moniker? Like I was afraid of Sister RN. What you said to me, Kelly, was, oh my God, and this resonated with me, and I make them say it. I don't care, we ain't going back to Sharonda LaShawn and them last names or whatever. We're going to talk about Sister RN, and they're going to say it, right? Because it means something to me, and it's who I am. And so what you said to me, and this was the message, and this is the lesson everybody need to get. If they can't accept Sister RN, then maybe that ain't the room you need to be in. Bam, my phone drop. Then it doesn't matter. I can now walk into, if you can't accept Sister RN, then you don't deserve my brain. You don't deserve everything that comes behind me. You don't deserve, and you're not going to get that. And so that's what I got out of your first signature talk.
Yeah. Listen, I love you and I'll let you talk forever. This is so important for you to say that. It's interesting because yesterday I was listening to something and I heard some women asking questions about working in corporate and going back into corporate as a consultant, as a speaker, as a trainer, and wanting to do I have to use their jargon? Do I have to do all the things and be corporate? And the thing that I always tell you all is that if they wanted corporate, they got corporate in their offices. They got corporate in their businesses. They're not looking outside. Hey, precious. They're not looking outside to get what they already have inside. They're looking for you to bring your expertise. So, just quickly talking about the signature talk experience. And one of the things I think that a lot of people who come out of corporate and come into this space, they're, they talk about they want to speak, or I want to be a keynote, or I want to do I want to be a trainer, I want to do workshops, and not realizing that the base of that is having a signature talk or a signature presentation. And so for you, what has been the value of actually doing the work with me and with Lisa, my sister, and all the other people who were there with you during your cohort? What is the value of actually taking the time to develop your signature talk?
The ability, the scalability. I have scaled that signature talk into a circle of impact. I have scaled that signature talk that has created funding. I have scaled that signature talk that has taken me to Dubai and to Paris. I have scaled that signature talk, and not only signature talks, but lessons learned to things I haven't even shared with you yet that I'm excited about. You taught me kind of how to roll things out, right? But I think the bigger piece to it was the full circle for me. And that full circle, Kelly, didn't happen until last night. It didn't happen until last night. And it was the process, because it's a process from the things that we've been through, from the signature talk, starting with my why, right? From moving forward to the momentum. How do you even get momentum in this thing and get on stages? And then after that, when we started getting positioned for profits, we got positioned for profits. And then we used your brain. You gave us access to your brain via artificial intelligence. And so I got a chance to speak with the marketing advertisement expert inside of your brain. And then, you know what I'm saying? I got to speak to, the monetization expert of your brain. I got to separate those and take those out. Before that, I was clear, right? On my why and my purpose, right? After position for profits, I was clear on the full circle. I mean, the full circle. So you were talking about thought leadership. People talk about thought leadership, what that means. And you just said something about people don't want the corporate world. They want something new. And so last night when I was going through all the things, what I decided to do was go into uncharted territory. And what I found are things that are critical, safety nets that if we don't address, patients will continuously die in our healthcare system. And no one's talking about it. So what I learned from you is I need to take ownership of that. And so then I'm following all of those steps, right? And so then it made me think different. So what steps do I need to take to own this before I throw this out? Well, first you need to name it. So then we named it. And who am I talking about? ChatGPT, AI, who you helped me learn how to use, right? And so the first thing I did was named it. And I'm excited because it's getting ready to roll out. I named it. Oh, it's about to go down because I know for a fact this is why bad things are happening. So cannot wait to announce it, cannot wait to own it, and then cannot wait. I own it now. It's called unauthorized arrivals, right? When people come into emergency departments or hospitals or wherever, everybody measure everything based on arrival time. But there's a period before you even get in the system that people are underestimating. Up to 10 to 20 patients a day. High risk, huge risk. Nobody's talking about it. And so I defined it. I put it in an article, submitted it so I can own it, right? I'm speaking on it live today. Told you it's mine, unauthorized arrivals. Right. And that's where we're going to focus. And I guarantee you, if hospitals focus right there on their front door, they'll stop at least 15 to 20% of bad things from happening. Right. So,
That's awesome. I'm so excited about that. I can't wait to see. You know what I want to do? because you are just a ball of energy, and I love that you take things that you have learned from me and then you take it to a whole new level. Like you really lean in. I want to go back for a second though to talk about the signature talk experience and the development of that.
Okay.
And what was that like? Because I know a lot of people hear about, signature talks and the way that people tell them to put it together, and maybe, they tell them, oh, it's about your story, and or, listen, you just got to have like a story and then some lessons and whatever. Talk about, just quickly, about the process of how we came up with your signature talk, and how that process has allowed you to do the things that you just said, like now use it for funding, use it for speaking, use it for your new venture that we're going to be talking about in just a second. Talk about that process so that people understand that it's not just, like you just come and talk about your story. Like it is really an in-depth endeavor.
Definitely. I was looking for my board because I usually keep my board around. So because framework, bottom line.
Mhm.
So people talk about framework all day long, but you have to make frameworks work. They really need to work. And so you had this black print, you had all these sticky notes that definitely resonated with me. That's how we do processes in the ER, right? And so, oh my God, the colors, things stick to you so that you'll remember. But it was, I think it's important for them to understanding my why, though. I couldn't even begin to get in that framework without digging into the why. And so you guys had this whole exercise where I had to dig into why I'm even doing what I'm doing, right? And then I could have a better understanding of my moves. But it was the framework. I have a lot in my head. Um, Everybody, it's too much for the average person. I'm just gonna tell you, it's too much for the average person. And so I have to give it in doses, and I have to give them what they need. And before I met you, I didn't quite know how to do that. I didn't quite know how to categorize that, departmentalize that, so that I don't lose the listener, whoever I'm
Mhm.
talking to, right? But it's stay core, stay core. So that's kind of what I learned from you. Stay core, and then here's a framework. When I talk to right now, one thing about your framework, without giving away your stuff, that sticks to me more than anything, because it resonates, because it's cultural and it's taking it to the bridge. When me and my chat GPT work together, I say, nah, that ain't it, because you didn't take it to the bridge. So I'm real specific. And then chat didn't understand that. So then I had to explain what I meant by take it to the bridge. But that's the one that stands out to me the most. And then connecting thoughts,
Mhm.
connecting one idea to the next. So that's kind of what your framework, without giving your framework, your black print,
Mhm.
does for us. And then you give us these one-liners. I love those one-liners. Those one-liners just roll with me throughout the day. But did I answer your question quickly? The thing
Mhm.
that came to me the most, getting my why and the framework. And so
Yes.
then taking that framework and making my own, right? What works best for me? Like nothing's black and white, but
Mhm.
definitely gave me a print, a black print,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that
And
I
I
can.
think that's important, the part that you just said, making it your own. So there is a black print, right? We have the signature talk black print. And so everyone goes and uses the black print, but within that, everyone gets to customize their talks, right?
Yes.
So everyone leaves with their own customized talk. And one of the things you said, like when you first started speaking, was you said that one of the things I teach you is how to think. And that's really important for me when we're working together, whether it's around your positioning, your packaging, your pricing, your signature talk, whatever strategizing, it's how do you think about things so that when I'm not there, but y'all tell me this all the time, y'all tell me that you hear me, right? You hear my voice, you hear me saying things to you because I have taught you how to stop and really consciously think about what you're doing. And one of the things that when I met you and you were at the signature talk, like I could, there was so much, right? And I could see the energy. And I think that is the energy of so many of us. Some of us are more extroverted with that energy. Some of us are more introverted, but we have all of these things that we know and that we want to say, we want to put out into the world. And so, working with you to really just help you to understand how to take your information and then put into a framework that you can then go out and deploy in any way that you feel like doing. So some people think they hear signature talk and they think, oh, well, that's just for people who want to be speaking on stage and who want to, but it's not. So tell people what you have specifically, how you have specifically used your framework that we came up with during the signature talk, and you've expanded on. But how have you used that in different places? You talked about Dubai and Paris. First of all, y'all, she just slipped that in there. Sharonda had never spoken on stage before, and her first speaking engagements were international in Dubai and Paris.
Yes, yes, yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
so, but because she had that signature talk and she had that framework, but talk about how you have leveraged the framework because it's built. We built our framework, the Black Print, to help you be able to leverage your frameworks in any way that you want to.
Yeah. Oh my God. I guess so for me and my travel. So the main thing I wrote was my signature talk was the cultural renovation project. I run emergency departments. And so the things that I talk about can either be traumatizing to you, but or more, oh my God, like. And so Kelly called me back after the initial meeting and she said, I just want to sit down with you and pick your brain. And what you did, Kelly, was categorized all my thoughts, right? And then you helped me identify what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And so you challenged me. You said, here are the things, right? You said, here's what you're talking about. And then you told me to go back and make that make sense, right? And so I said, okay. I understood the challenge because what it was doing was focusing me.
Mhm.
Like focus, because I was all over the place. I can even say that now without crying because I used to cry all over the place. I can do that now. I was all over the place. And when you're all, think about, okay, we're going to talk about this, but when you're all over the place, you don't get your message across.
Mhm.
And then think about how many lives. I told you I've been to Dubai. I told you I've been to Paris. Their systems are not as advanced as us. And so I had a message to get across to those healthcare providers that are life-saving.
Mhm.
And so just me clarifying that's what I wanted you to know, Kelly. That's how important your work is. You like my favorite lyricist, Tupac. You may not be the one that changed the world, but you may spark the brain that does it. Right.
Mhm.
And so that's what I love about the work that you do. That's what I love about how you put experts on stage and give them a voice. That's why I am walking in your footsteps, trying to put nurses on stages and give them a voice so they can position themselves, not only for profits, but for purpose. Right. And
Mhm.
so I think I don't even know what question you asked me because
That's okay. So how have you used the talk? Because you've used it to
that's
do
what I
different
did.
things.
I went
Mhm.
out there to talk to the people in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
I went with the pivotal P's, taught people how to prioritize their employees. The pivotal P's, if you wanted me to touch on that, was the people, the processes. What was I talking about? The people, the processes, and the paperwork. If
Right.
you take care of the people, the processes, and the paperwork, then the patient profits and the patient care will follow, right? You don't even have
Yeah.
to worry about that if you prioritize these people. And then I came up with the behaviors, and all
Hold
of
on for one second, Sharonda.
them works. Okay.
Yeah, hold on for one second. Because when you talk about the pivotal P's, and one of the things that I know that you've done is, so we have this entire framework, you have your entire framework, but you've taken pieces of that framework. So sometimes we put together frameworks and we feel that we can only, like, this is my framework. So I have to always have every single piece of that framework and be using every single piece of that framework. And what I've loved that you have done is that you have looked at that framework as a whole, but you also looked at it as their distinct pieces. And then you have leveraged that in different ways. So with your nonprofit, with, you know,
Oh yeah.
pulling together, different things. So I want you to talk about that because I think people don't understand how to break down or don't really think about the fact that once you create this one thing, which we created, it doesn't mean that that one thing can only exist in that one form. That you have really, I mean, you did a whole workbook, you did, like, you've done so many things. So talk about what that mindset, like, what was it that allowed you to use that in so many different ways?
Well, first off, it was if we use the car analogy, it was the gas. They was the pedal to the metal. It gave me the pedal to the metal. I was able to take off because again, I could that communication framework. So I took that communication framework and turned it into the things that I wanted because I was able to articulate what I wanted with
Hmm.
who I wanted to partner with, right? And so an example of that would be one of my first projects was Empower Her 423. That was with my hometown community. What I wanted to do was make sure that I could spend time with them, educate them, go back to my roots, make sure that we could go back to nature, do all my health initiatives. But what I knew is they couldn't afford my services. So then I had to figure out, how do I get paid? And so how do I get to do this, get to serve the community? Then I have to partner with local officials. I have to align my initiatives with their same initiatives. How do I do that? Well, I'm gonna have to communicate that. I'm gonna have to have a framework to do it. And so you just pull that same framework out. I mean it, and put it on repeat. That's exactly what I did. So it was Empower Her 423. So I'm an assessor. I'm a nurse by background. So I'm assessing everything and trying to figure out what the next need is. And so from Empower Her 423, we figured out, oh, okay, the youth need to be. Well, first, I'm sorry, it was mute. Yeah, because I had already done. Had I done a music cipher? I
I
did
don't
so.
remember. No, I don't remember.
But we did the music cipher. Since then, definitely the music cipher been funded, working with the kids of the Empower Her 423 community. And then from there, take that same framework. Let's create Hooked on Healing because we need some healing. So it's just based on the need. So then there was another one. Same, pull out that framework. How do I communicate what I want? Right? So we did Hooked on Healing. It's just been one thing after the next. So that's been the nonprofit piece to it. So now, though, I'm real clear on what it is that I want to do. What I know is that I've been in training for the last 20 years in the healthcare facilities. I've been on all sides of this thing, right, Kelly? I've been, from the bedside to the nurse manager, nurse leaders. I've worked with COOs, risk management. I review records every day. And so it only makes sense if my why, so let's go back to my why, my
Yeah.
purpose. If my why has everything to do with what happened to my auntie in that emergency department, because if you know me, you know my story. If my why is all about positioning myself to help families to make sure that things are preventable and to make sure that they don't die frivolously, if that's my why, then legal nurse consultant is a no-brainer. And so after oh my God. And so I am so ready because when I interviewed, because I'm doing an interview, and that interview is what would I do? 5 things. I have to name 5 things I would do to change the US healthcare system. And it was so clear. It was so clear that my moniker, my acronym, or my framework ended up being clear. Ended up being a clear voice, right?
Yeah.
So because oh my God. So I can't wait to roll all of that out because it just makes so clarity. What did I get from everything? Clarity. And then after I got clarity, authority, I can stand on business. I don't care. I'll talk to you about anything. In from the time a patient walk into that hospital to a time a patient is discharged and gone to the nursing home, right? Or home, wherever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
I am that expert. And so now, if you thought I was an authority, I took that to the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this because the title of this is From Employee to Expertpreneur. And the idea when I talk about expertpreneur is that you make money with your mind. And if you're listening closely to what she's sharing with you, you can see like the trajectory and the journey. And I did a live the other day, and I was talking about the idea of coming from the corporate space into entrepreneurship and us having all of these skills and knowing how to do all of these things and being paid for it in that arena. and then coming into entrepreneurship and understanding how to transform the skills. And one of the things that I realized when we were talking with you and doing your signature talk is that you were still stuck in Sharonda the nurse, right? And you were still stuck in the wanting to do the things and talk about the things in the way that you would talk about it as an actual doer of the work, as
Mhm.
opposed to somebody who had elevated to being an expert and an authority because you had done the work. And so, what has been really joyful for me is to watch that evolution for you and see that you understand now. This is what how I work with women's, to really understand that you are now an authority and an expert because you have done the work, right? And so no, you don't know, you no longer are doing it, but that experience, like for me, my decades as a trial lawyer, that experience helps me to do what I do with all of you. And so watching you actually make that transition, so coming to me saying, oh, I want to be a speaker, and then getting on the stage and speaking, but then realizing, but wait, what I have created now, what I really understand about who I am, what I really understand about my expertise can do so much more, right? So it can, and like you said, I impact your brain to impact other people, and it's a ripple effect as we go through this. And so watching you, go on stage, right, in Dubai, go on stage in Paris, and then say, Kelly, wait, I took the framework and I got a grant. I got funding over here to go do all these things. And now to come back almost full circle, right? To sit inside of the expertise, because you didn't mention that. I mean, you had a whole company where you had nurses and you would go in and do all these audits and do all these things for emergency rooms. But now taking that to another level of, wait, there's a way that I can really help families. There's a way that I can really, really change the trajectory. And wish I had somebody like that for me. And to be now, putting out your business as a legal nurse consultant. I'm thrilled about it because, so I am thrilled that you have landed there. But what was it about? What has it been about the journey and the things that you learned from working with me that allows you to keep just iterating and iterating? And it's not pivoting, it is a true iteration, right, to get to where you are now.
So, two words: clarity. Second word, validation. And I say validation because um, I was it. I was looking for validation. I have
Mhm.
constantly been validating myself, and so your past experiences show up, right? And so it show up in ways that you like, oh my God. Because I was even telling you, so I worked on not validating myself. And what happened was, even when working with ChatGPT, y'all, listen to me, hear me clear. The moment I stopped validating, that just happened last night, like really stop validating, you will be surprised of the doors, the flood of gaps that came into my mind. All the answers was there because I am the expert. And so I was positioning myself as someone is this it? Oh, let's do the research. I'm not the researcher anymore. I'm telling you what it is. I've been there, done that. And so I need you to look at what I'm telling you to look at. I am the authority. I am the thought leader. I am the one that came up with this framework. It is my intellectual property. So I've been able to take your framework, become clear, stop validating myself, know exactly where I'm going, and collect my intellectual property. That's, I think, the biggest piece of it all, my intellectual property.
Right. And that's money, right? In this business, right, in this business, intellectual property is money. And you've been featured. So you've been featured internationally, you've been featured in publications as an expert. And even you were saying to me, Kelly, I'm writing this, article for Authority Magazine again. And those are the types of things that when I think about an expertpreneur and I work with women experts like you, is what are all the pieces? What are all the things? I'm gonna get you to write a book
I got
now.
another one. I got another one. I'm gonna get some money. I'm gonna make
What are all the pieces?
I have
Right.
another
Go
one.
ahead.
Like professionalism. Like, so
Mhm.
these are the extra pieces that come with it. Because you don't teach us professionalism, but what you do, Kelly, is you demonstrate.
Mm.
And you always give us your expectations when we're working together, right? Even like preparing for this, you know how many people I do lives with or interview with that don't care about the things that you care about, but I know what that does. I know what branding does, but because of you, again, I can't really write. I'm giving you credit because you deserve credit. I can't write anything without, oh my God, let me go back and fix this. Oh Lord, if they not all the same, Kelly gonna, message me. Oh my goodness, especially if I gotta post something about, the Speaking Industry Expo, I better get that X right. I better I don't like, you don't like the certain fonts, I gotta know that, but that's what's up. That's what make people partners. That's what make people great. People can see my work. I have all kind of DMs, just crazy work about just how they like to work. It's weird because I'm like, what? I know I still got some ways to go, but love where I am right now. Love where
Yeah.
I am.
And thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. And one of the things I love about you is that you're always saying to me, you just don't understand the power of who you are. And I do this work because I love it. I work with you all in the way that I do because I love it. And to your point about, you know, that I will message you, which I will, right? I'm always looking and just making sure that you all show up in excellence. I want to talk about um so you've been on stages, you've been featured as an expert, you've been on my stage. So one of the things, that I love about the relationship that we have developed over this time is the respect and the concern and the just really wanting to help each other and amplify each other, right? And so when was it? 2024? It seems like so long ago now. 2024, you were the MC for our Iconic Talks showcase, which was an absolute hit. People loved it and loved you. And now you are going to be the MC
Yes,
for the Speaking Industry Expo, which happens in March 16th through the 18th in Atlanta. Oh, you were also the MC for our Position for Profit.
yes.
And you're going to be the MC on stage for the Speaking Industry Expo. Hey, Lorena. And so talk about that. Talk about why when I said, "Hey, Sharonda, would you like to do this?" You said yes. And why do you continue to like? Because you say this to me all the time. So I'm not saying this just because I want to say it, but you say to me like, "I watch what you're doing. Like I follow what you're doing." And if you're doing it, I'm like, okay, let me figure out how to do it my way. What is it about continuing to be in this space? And the reason I asked this question is because I was talking to Lynn this morning and she was saying, if people only understood that when you come into your space, it's not just about the thing that you see that you say you're gonna get. There's like so much more. So why are you doing this? Why are you still here? Why are you still like Kelly? What is it about being learning from me or being in my space or just being in the circle that allows you to just keep going and really thrive?
So I haven't been exposed to a lot of Black female experts, professionals, entrepreneurs. I have been in spaces, but not where it's a lot of them in the room, and it's
Mhm.
just that's what it is, right? And so in what I've been doing, I've always been looking for a mentor. There was no fit. I think a fit is important. There was no fit. The best white women have tried to mentor me. I'm talking making money in these major positions, giving me the positions. Nope, couldn't do it, right? It was just that wasn't there. So again, So the connection, the understanding. So I think that's first and foremost. You understand. So I think that's why this is your target here. It's a lot of people that don't understand Black women specifically. And so you understanding me, and you see you being able to see me, because you said that to me. You said, I see you. And it wasn't just that you said it. I know that you saw me. I can see you see me. People can say that all day, but I can see you see me. And so that was everything. So that's one thing, right? The next thing. So I said, so then especially when we got to, the MC seeing your thing in Iconic Talks, and then fast forward to Position for Profits. I think I'm doing my thing. And then I get in the room with these 12 women that you done brought together and find out I ain't doing nothing.
Not true.
I'm not gonna say that it was exactly what
Right.
I did, though. If anybody know me, I'm competitive by nature, and so and then I really care about rank, in the room, and so I'm just letting y'all know it is what it is. I care about that type stuff. So I want to be the best, right?
Mhm.
That's just what I want to be. I don't desire to be anything less, and so I can't be ashamed of that. And so that's what I'm excited about, seeing other women that look like me, that's loud like me. Somebody was on there loud. I was like, it's okay to be loud, because you know how many people been silencing me, and then again, being able to be myself. Oh my goodness, did I say that? And then, so what did that do for me? It made me take myself to the next level. I looked at my pages. I was like, oh no. I was looking at my branding. I'm over 50 now. So it is time for me to move into my goal era. Right. And so what does that look like? Oh, well, how can people see that? So I started rebranding right after Position for Purpose. So you ask me, why do I continue to stay in the room? Because first of all, you keep offering me things that would take me to the next level. And you're really consistent with how to do that. You're not pulling us all kind of different ways.
Mhm.
You're keeping us on the straight and narrow. And we can have these hard conversations. You and I just had a hard conversation, just to make sure I'm on the right path, right? And so we had those, but then at the end, it's just perfect. And so don't wear your heart on your sleeve.
Mhm.
You cannot do that. I think that's what makes AI so good, because AI don't have all of those emotions. I can say what I want to say to chat.
Right. Cuss it out.
Saying it. And then Chat said to me, well, if you wanted to get that off your chest, and then people can't take that. But what I wanted to say was, me and you, I think we do good with that. I think that's the purpose. You asked why you keep showing up. I think that's the purpose. We should continue to show up in the room, continue to look at each other, continue to look after one another.
Yeah.
I need to be able to look at Kelly and say, did you see Kelly? And then I call, hey, I saw this on the call today. I know that ain't you. What's going on?
Yeah.
What can I do? Just like you'll reach out to me. I had all them funerals and stuff going on. I was scared to respond. It was 3 times. It was 3 distinct times this year that I was in a funeral home when you was like, I ain't heard from you. I'm at the funeral. Or I'm on the phone with the undertaker. It was insane. Oh
Yeah.
my God. But anyway, and then to keep going. And then you're bringing people to us, resources, right? I know one thing I need, from what I just told you, to share the story that I just shared. If I could have done something better, I could have had my things on automation, because my audience shouldn't have missed because of what was going on in my life, right? Unfortunately, I don't think they should have missed out on so much. And so had I had things on automation, go high level, right? Your sponsor, one of your sponsors of Speaking Industry Expo, I'm excited that they're going to be there.
Yeah.
Because those are the things that they can help us, get to our end results, especially on the business end, when it's time to get the profits.
Yeah. And, for me, I started this whole journey of working with women experts because I realized that the business part of our business, we don't pay attention to, we don't focus on, we don't think about it. We've just created another job for ourselves. We come out and we're just talent. We're not the CEOs of our business. And So, I had focused in the beginning on around speaking, but as I have watched you all and as I have grown in my own business, I was like, no, we're really expertpreneurs. We're really experts who are in business and we want to do things differently. And it may show up that we want to be on a stage. It may show up that I want to be a trainer or I want to be a corporate, I want to do workshops. It may be that I want to be a coach. It may be that I want to be a consultant. It may be that I want to do all of these things, but the core, right, is that it's based on this expertise that I have, that I brought all of these skills, the knowledge, everything that I brought from over here that I now want to bring here and figure out how do I leverage all of that, right, to make a life, a living, the legacy that I desire and I deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And, watching you and watching some of my other clients too, just watching you all really lean into that is what made me want to do the speaking industry expo. It's what made me kind of shift from what the speaking industry expo was designed to be to what it is now, which is really focusing internally, right, what I call the inside job. Because when I talk to you, I talk to all of you, those are the things that keep coming up from you. It's like, me like leaning in and seeing you and not just saying I see you, but really understanding me, paying attention to what you're doing. And so, pulling people into the speaking industry expo, and you've been working with me on this from, from the very beginning. You're probably one of the first people I told about it because I knew you would get it. Is really to bring women, like you said, being in a room where you see other badass women, right, who have expertise like you, who may have some more, but watching what they're doing and then being able to have that connection, right? And have that collective and the proximity to be able to be like, oh, and for me, part of it is like, I want us to understand the power of the collective and to get us to a point where we are positioned so powerfully that people have no choice but to respect us, right?
Yeah.
That we aren't like fighting for the respect. We aren't trying to justify our existence and justify our pricing and justify our experience and justify all the things that we do. That no, I'm here. I
Mm-hmm.
am here, right? I
Mm-hmm.
remember this was something, and this comes from, I want y'all to know, like, this comes from like way back. Like, these aren't things that I just thought about, but I remember I was when I was practicing law, and I told you this, Sharonda. I remember when I was practicing law, I was in a courtroom, and there was a black male prosecutor, and he would just talk crazy. He would just talk crazy to me. And one day I pulled him outside. I pulled him into the hallway and I said, let me tell you something. You don't have to like me, but you will damn well respect me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the thing that we have to really get to, that we have to command respect. But you cannot command respect for something or around something that you have not positioned yourself to be respected for.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I talk about positioning, when I talk about packaging, when I talk about pricing, that's what I'm talking about, right? You talked about position for profit. One of the things around position for profit, what was the key to position for profit, is leveraging AI. And in this day and age, right? Y'all know I've been teaching y'all anything that comes with AI. I've been like, hey, did you see this? We need to be doing this. We need to be working on this. But leveraging AI to not replace you, right? And not to take over, but to really elevate and amplify who you are. So talk quickly about that, and being able to use AI, being able to use what we call the mobile operating system, and the team, the AI team that I built to help you like really, save time, energy, effort to do the things. Yeah, and show like, let me see your little folder.
I'm finna pull them aside. I'm organized, baby. I got my weekly task. I got a team. Okay. So first of all,
Yes.
so you explore. So when you see things, when you're exposed to things, you'll explore.
Mhm.
Right. And so when Kelly introduced us to her AI team, there was no way I wasn't going to have an AI team. or try to figure it out, right? And so in figuring things out, organizing myself, I'm much more productive. You think I got humans.
That's how I talk to them.
You think I got humans at the house. I got Keisha and I got Tyrone. Keisha is my assistant, right? But I got all of this from you, right? So tell me, so right quick, because I want to name your girls.
Mhm.
We had Pixie.
We had Paisley.
Paisley, I'm sorry. Paisley was the
Yes.
first one. What did
Yeah.
Paisley?
So Paisley was about positioning.
And then who
We
was
had
next?
Chloe. So you all actually met Paisley, Chloe, and Renee. So there was Paisley who helped you with positioning. There was Chloe who did your content, and she was doing marketing at the time. But I've hired someone else on the team to take over Chloe's marketing functions, and her name is Maya. And then you all had Renee who was helping you with revenue road mapping. So it's kind of like an all-in-one system for experts who really just need to start getting those pieces together, right? What does that look like so I can be positioned? So you were talking about being very clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can be positioned so I can be clearly talking about who I am and what I do in the world. And then, how do I do that as an authority in terms of content, and then revenue? How do I make money from it? So I'm gonna turn it back over to you.
Yes. So I used them, and the way that it worked best for me, I got all the things. Y'all see, I want to do all the things, and I'm not really willing to give up a lot of it. And I have a lot of energy, right? And so I asked Chat, "You think we can do this?" And Chat said, "I one of your girls," and most definitely. But you're gonna have
Okay.
to organize it, and you're gonna have to stay on a tight calendar or a schedule. And so what we did was came up with my 5 pillars and my strategy, right? Um, I know, somebody may say, oh, everybody knows you're supposed to get your pillars. No, we worked it out. It was a workout session. When we did Position for Profits, Kelly put on some smooth music, and we took that time to work with the AI, to work the tools, to answer the questions, and to come up with the things. See, you have to do the work. You have to show up for yourself, and you have to do the work. And I think that's why Position for Profits was so profound for me, Kelly. I just need you to know that, as opposed to the other things we did. Signature talk work, that's because we were in person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Meetings, webinars work, but these webinars where we have this time to work is wonderful. That's why I came up with my Beyond Health is Wealth series, and now we bang out power hours every Tuesday and Thursdays, because now I understand the power of doing the work collectively.
Mm-hmm.
So organizing, getting better organizing, making sure if I'm not following my pillars, I'm not working on it. If it doesn't fall into my pillars, I'm not working on it. But I've been able to be, I would say, 3 times more productive. And everything was clear. Everything is clear.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it. You can, if you go down my social media page, you can see it evolving. You can
Yeah.
see it evolving and clearing up. You could see me growing. You could see it. And
Yeah.
that's exciting for me because I like going down my own page.
Yes. and that's the exact type of thing that we're going to be doing at the 6. So we will be doing the actual work at the 6. If
Yes,
you
yes.
can't come to the 6, you can still have access to, Paisley and Chloe and Maya and Renee. Just drop MOS in the comment, MOS, and I'll send you the information for how you can do that. But we'd love for you to come to the 6. You can learn more about that when you come to the masterclass. So before I wrap up and talk a little bit more about that, Sharonda, what if you could talk about this overall experience of working with me and the work that we've done together, how has it truly like changed you, or has it changed you? Like, what has been the impact? And what would you say to other people who are like considering working with me in some way, whether it's through the 6, come into a masterclass, signature talk, with the AI team, like talk to them about that, because I know sometimes people are like, oh, well, she's just like everybody else, or it's just like, well, why her instead of her, or him? Talk to them about that.
Kelly, I think accountability. is everything, right? And so that's the main thing that I get out of your programs is accountability, and I really don't get that anywhere else. Being an entrepreneur, working out of, if your office is in your home and those type of things, you need some extra push. And so I think it's great working with Kelly because first you're consistent. I know you're going to be there, right? Another reason I would want to work with you is because I get to be myself, and that's what you promote. I've said that over and over again. And me being able to be myself and walk into my purpose, Kelly, people don't know their why. People don't know their why. And I'm not saying, oh, you're the expert at getting to the why, but you help me get to the why. You understand if they don't know their why, then we can't go anywhere. And so I think that's the foundation, sort of a piece of the foundation of your programming. The next thing is the frameworks. The frameworks work, especially with us taking it to the bridge. That's James Brown. You know what I'm saying? It's very cultural, and it connects. It connected with me, right? So those frameworks again. I'm a talker. I like to talk, and it's a lot up there. I got a lot in my brain. The next thing, I don't need no more confidence. I got a whole lot of confidence, and I know that I'm smart. But you really let me know I'm really smart in a different type of way without calling me smart. See, you pull me if I'm not in that space, you'll pull me to your level. You'll pull me on up there if I'm not there. And most of the time you ain't got to pull me there because I don't like to be pulled nowhere. I'm going to meet you where you are, right? And so I love that. I ain't got too many people that can pull me to this professional space. Emotional intelligence. I've been working on since I've been working with you, right? That's what I mean with everybody else. You can't come in here all guarded and defensive. You got to be ready to learn. And I think that's why I have been successful within your programming because I know I'm an expert. You work with experts. You work with high level women, high level people, men too, right? You work with these high level entities. You're great at doing that. And so that's what's up. And it's not a threat to you. And that's another thing. I get in these other rooms and I find out I'm a threat. And I'm not trying to be a threat. I'm trying to get help. I'm paying people $10,000 to be in a room and I got to I'm a threat. That's crazy. Come on now. Stop it. You know? So
Yeah.
I love that I'm not a threat. And then you want me to be the best. That means everything to me. Right? Kelly, we're gonna mess up. We humans. Things are gonna happen. But those basic things keep you keeps me consistent, keeps me in the circle, keeps me in the room, and keeps me wanting to do my best. When I know I'm getting ready to meet with you, ask Sam. Sam know what it looks like if I'm getting ready to meet with Kelly the next day or hours before. He know what that looks. Oh, you must be meeting with Kelly today. That looks like something. Those are the type of people you want to use. And that's why I stay in the circle. Did I answer the question?
Yes, you did. And you're not getting out the circle. You are stuck with me. You are jumped in, honey. You're going to have to get jumped out.
I ain't going nowhere. This is exciting. I cannot wait to see what's getting ready to happen. Okay, you can't wait to see. I got my instructions. That's the next thing. You got to know who you are and your role. For me, I'm an executor. Kelly gave me something. You think I'm not going to execute? Y'all, you got to execute. You just can't have stuff sitting on your desk. You got to execute. You can't just keep taking notes and being a full-time student for the rest of your life. You got to execute. Why should you be in the room? Accountability. You don't want to be the only one in the room that ain't doing nothing but complaining. That's not what's up.
Absolutely. So Sharonda, oh my God, we've been on here for almost an hour. So I could talk to you all day, and we chat and talk about things all the time. And I wanted to just share you with the world. I wanted to share your experience, your just who you are, because there's so many women who are like us, who have been in corporate, who now in this wild, wild world of entrepreneurship. That's the WWE, honey. Wild, wild world of entrepreneurship. And we are trying to figure out how to make this thing work. And part of it is being around the right people. It's putting yourself in rooms. It's really putting yourself in spaces where people care about you, not just what you can do or what you can do for them, but care about you. When she says, I want the best for her, she knows I want the best for her and I mean it.
Yes.
Right. And I
Yeah.
will, if I don't see her, I'm like, I have not heard from you. Like, where are you? Right? What is going on? And so it's not just about the work that we're doing, it's about the person, it's about the human, it's about the connection. And so, with all of that, and Sharonda and I've been working really hard, and Rhonda, our conference architect, on the sixth, the Speaking Industry Expo. So I'm gonna start with that first and talk about that because you know there's two main things that are happening right now that I want to invite you into. If you can't go to any of these things, but you're like, oh, but Kelly, that signature talk experience, I need that. We can do that too. But right now, in March 16th through the 18th, 2026, we are hosting the Speaking Industry Expo. It's called the Six. So if you see us talking about the Six, it's the same thing, the Speaking Industry Expo. And the idea is that this is the first AI wired incubator for business women, for women experts who want to position, package, and price their expertise for profit. Why do I say AI wired? Because we talked about some of the AI team that that the ladies met at Position for Profit. There's even more that I've built. So we're going to be using AI to help you to build out your offer ecosystems, your pricing, your 90-day profit centered plans, all of those things. And our presenting sponsor, Go High Level, is going to be there, and they're going to be teaching you about infrastructure and systems. How do you multiply yourself? How do you get all of these things out there? How do you do all these things, right? And still keep your sanity. And one of the ways is to build systems. And so Go High Level will be there, and they're going to be training you. We also have, those of you who know Precious Williams, she is my dear friend and the killer pitch master, and she's a 13-time pitch champion. She's one of the speakers thanks to Verizon. Verizon has sponsored us and is bringing Precious in as a speaker. And she's going to be doing Fix My Pitch. Fix your pitch live in the room. If you have ever
Yes.
been around Precious, if you have ever been in her energy, in her space, you know that this is going to be something. It is not only for women, it is
Energy to
focused on
me. She
women.
has
Yeah,
more energy than me.
we have a
Who doing
question.
that?
We have a question. Is this for women only? It is not only for women. It is focused. My focus is always women, but the content is for everyone. So if you want to come on in, Gerard, come on in. All you got to do is go to speakingindustryexpo.com. I'm going to put the link in the chat so that you
Yes.
have it. But be in the room, right? It's one, like, Sharonda and I started like being in the room together. When I'm in a room with you, I can feel the energy around you. I can really see, I can understand what is going on with you. There's something about me where I can just feel that. Probably comes from me from being a trial lawyer and having to watch the juries and understand, what they're experiencing while I'm speaking. So if you're in Atlanta, if you're in the surrounding area, I don't care if you're on the West Coast, get on a plane, come and be in that room with us for 2 days or 3 days. You have two options, a 2-day ticket or a 3-day ticket. Be in the room because we can no longer be waiting for other people to save us. We can no longer be sitting out here complaining about what they have and who's over here and they're over there. Meanwhile, we have not done the things that we need to do for ourselves to be able to position ourselves to get those same things, right? Or to get more of those things. So speakingindustryxpo.com. And right now, through January 17th, the prices will increase. But right now, the tickets are 50% off. We have 9, as of this morning, we have 9 tickets left for Mogul, which is a 3-day experience, which includes 3 separate masterminds with me before the event, the first day of the event, and then after the event. And if you know, like I know, being in a room with me, tell them Sharon, and having
So
access to my brain is like,
it's a good time. It's
right?
something
It's
you
a
want to
good
do, a part of.
It'll be worth your time. So those tickets are available. So we have 9 of those tickets left. And then if you want to do the 2-day, those tickets are available too. Bring a friend. Go grab somebody and say, we need to be in this room. We need to
Yes.
take control of our destiny. 2025 taught us, right, that they will push you out, push you aside, lay you off, terminate you, do all the things. And it's not because you're not valuable. It's not because what you have can't make you money, but you got to learn how to use what you have to make you money. So
Yes.
that's what we're going to be doing at the Speaking Industry Expo. The second thing that I want to invite you to comes before the Speaking Industry Expo, and that is the masterclass that is happening on January 15th. And that is Stop Undervaluing, Start Profiting. Black women, this is for you. Gerard,
Yes.
listening to this is for you, Black women. We are the highest educated. We start the most businesses, and yet our businesses make less than everyone else by multiples, not by a little bit, but by multiples. We generally, as business women, business owners, as Black women, our businesses generate about $24,000 in revenue. That cannot do anything for us. It cannot
Mhm.
change our lives. It cannot change our cannot be legacy building for us. And so one of the frameworks, Sharonda talked to you about me and frameworks. One of the frameworks is the profit-centered framework. We're not going to be thinking about revenue. We're going to be thinking about profit. And so startprofiting.co, you can come to that free masterclass. You'll learn all about what it means to be profit-centered as opposed to be service-focused. We're going to serve ourselves into brokenness. And well, a lot of us are already doing that. So we need to focus on profit so that we can serve at the levels that we want to serve at. And so that's what startprofiting.co is about. You'll learn more about the 6 there. Because that'll be just letting y'all know I'm having that. So I'm gonna sell y'all into the 6. So the master class is to learn, right, and get your mindset together and understand the framing and the foundation. And the 6 is where we're gonna do the work. So if you're about that life and you're ready to do the work, like Sharonda said, it's one thing to get information is free. You can Google, you can talk to Chat GPT, you can talk to anybody. You can get the information. It's about doing the work. It's the execution that is going to
Mhm.
bring you the results. So those are the 2 things that I want to share with you is one, masterclass, January 15th, Speaking Industry Expo, March 16th through the 18th. Grab your friends, grab your girlfriends, grab your guy friends. If you're an expert and you want to know, I can teach you. If you want to know how to position, package, and price for your expertise for profit, I'm your girl. Like, get in the room because I'm a no fluff, no BS. I don't even say gatekeeping because I don't even know what that hell that means, but whatever.
Oh
If I
no, no,
know
no,
it,
no. I think, oh no, no, no.
no.
No, no. Because I think that sets you apart. I
Yeah,
think that's one of those checklist things that set you apart. You are not gatekeeping. We know what steps to take. You're not gatekeeping. Gatekeeping means um in these circles, the
right.
people not giving you all the information. Give me the information. You know, like we having these meetings, IUL life insurance policies. Did you know that's what these people doing with their money? That's what I'm talking about. No gatekeeping. Get on this call so we can tell you what all the secrets are. We need you on the call because see, a part of it is right accountability. If you're not gonna show up for
Mhm.
yourself, why would we
Right.
show up for you? That's not what we're
And why
doing.
would
We
people
get
pay you?
this way.
Right.
Yeah,
We
right.
want people to pay us. We want people to pay us a lot of money, but we're not willing to invest that. And the tickets
Yeah.
are like nothing, right? They're
Ooh, that's a
they're
quote
less than they should
you
be.
gave. One of the
Be
quotes you
in the
gave me
room.
was you gotta invest in the level that you want to be at. And
That's
so
right.
somebody says, Sharonda, you will pay $10,000 for a webinar room? Possibly. Yeah. If
Yeah.
that's the level, yeah, will.
Yeah. Right. I mean, as experts, you want somebody to pay you $50,000. You want somebody to pay you
Yeah.
6 figures. Have you ever
Yes.
invested that? If you cannot invest that in yourself, if you don't think that you're valuable enough to do that, and I'm not talking about you don't have the money, and I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about going into debt around that. I'm talking about that you don't even, you're just like, I ain't doing that. I ain't paying that person, right? Then understand that that's how other people think about you. Like, oh, you want me to pay you? No, I ain't paying you that. Like, you're not, I don't see the
You're not
value.
even exposing. So, but the thing about that is you expose yourself to a whole different level of individuals who can
That's right.
support your vision and
That's
your
right.
dream.
That's right. Proximity is power, right? And so,
Yes,
and listen, and
yes.
if you don't, if
We done
nothing
had
else,
fun.
you
That's
get to be in the room with us. Like, listen, you get to be
yes.
in
I
the
don't
room
know
with
what
us.
it is. I don't think they know who we are. Do they know who we are? Because I done
No, they
told
don't
you.
know. They don't. And we're having a peak party, and we're gonna be partying. So it's not just
Party.
work. We're gonna be
Oh,
partying.
my
We're
hair
gonna have
gonna be rolled
our
out
iconic
by
talk
then. My hair gonna be
showcase.
rolled out.
Yeah, we have our iconic talk showcase. So we have 6 amazing women speakers who are going to be on the stage. So you get to see them. We are just, when I tell you, I'm so excited about the space and the people who are going to be in that room, the people who I already know are committed to being in that room. You will leave not with notes. You're not going to leave with notes. You're going to leave because we go to these conferences and we leave with notes, books and books and books and books of notes. And all these, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and you do nothing. So we're gonna take that away from you, and you're going to actually leave with the thing. So when we talk about positioning, you're gonna leave with what your positioning is. When we talk about your pricing, you're gonna leave knowing exactly how you're supposed to price, not because I picked a number out of the air, but because our Aaliyah, who is your authority pricing model consultant, is going to give you that pricing based on your customized information. You're going to have your offer ecosystem from Octavia because you're going to feed her information and she's going to work with you. And I just want to say this real quick before we leave, Sharonda. The way that I've built these systems, these AI systems, I don't give you prompts. I'm not selling you a prompt book. I'm not selling you a prompt list. I'm like, take this prompt and do here. I have built them as a workflow. So they are your strategist, they are your advisor, they are your coach, they are your mentor, they're somebody who thinks with you. And I have built inside of them my frameworks, my thought process. So when Sharonda says she was having access to my brain, she literally meant she had access to my brain by using these AI tools. So you can put MOS in the comments if you want to know more about those tools. But I have built them so that it is a workflow. They take you through the journey. What you have to know is what you know. You have to know who you are and what you're doing, and they will help you to develop all of the things. So you don't have to know how to prompt. The only thing that you need to know how to do is say hello. You say hello. Once you say hello, they take you on the entire journey. And at the end, they don't just give you a bunch of stuff, they actually then give you reports that you can download that has the information. So it's built as a whole system. So I'm going to invite you again to the masterclass, which is the QR code up there, startprofiting.co. I'm going to invite you to Speaking Industry Expo, March 16th through the 18th in Atlanta. And then I'm going to turn this over to Sharonda to take us on home.
All right. So thank y'all for being here today. Thank you to Kelly's crew. Thank you to Sister RN's crew. Can't wait to see you guys at the Speaking Industry Expo. Definitely scan the QR code so we can see you in the room so you can be ready to do the work. I'm excited. And hopefully we get ready to come back again, Kelly, because I want to take them through all of my frameworks. I want to show you guys what has been done. I want to show you first. So we need to book that, but then show the people what I've done because I'm excited about it because it closes the circle. So that's exciting. Thank you. And that's it for me, Kelly.
Yes, I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for what's to come, for what's going to happen in 2026. If you're ready, like we're ready, then tap in. That's all I can say. Yeah. Tap in.
Kelly, one more thing, but I forgot. A few more things. The life agent. I got my life agent insurance license. Oh, wow. And I basically did that so that I could help when we did the Empower Her, all the groups, finances, wealth is a priority. And so the best way I could position myself to help them was to educate myself. So I educated myself, got that license, just did that over the last couple of months so that
Oh,
I could better
wow.
serve my community. So they
Yeah.
can meet us on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights at the Beyond Health is Wealth series
Put
every
it in the
Tuesday
comments.
night.
Drop it in the comments.
Okay, I'll put it in
Yeah.
the comment. And tonight is a night. So that's it for
Yeah.
me. Thank you,
And I
Captain.
love that. Again, if y'all listen to her and watch her, she has just taken everything and just extrapolated it out, which is what I said when I first met her and first meet anyone about their signature talk. You can take it and do whatever it is that you want to do with it. It
Yeah.
just creates that real grounding and foundation for you. So meet us January 15th, first virtual, then meet us in person, March 16th through the 18th in Atlanta. We do have, let me say this last thing, and I'm really going to go down. We do have a couple of spots left for exhibitors. So if you want to have your business show up at the 6, you can do that. We have on the website, if you want to sponsor in any way, there's sponsorship availability there. So there's different ways for you to participate. Just be in the room, get in the room and get around the people who can help change your life in 2026. Don't worry about it being the best year ever. Be the best you ever in 2026. Go after your dreams. Take care of yourself. Do the things that need to be done. Execute, execute, execute. Implement, implement, implement. There is no forward progress without action. All right, y'all. That's it. We out of here. Have an amazing day. And until next time, take care.